Welcome back to the Diabetic Diet Show. I'm going to make a sweet and sour chicken. Now, this recipe is going to have, in the bird's eye bag that I bought, the chicken, rice, cauliflower, carrots, bell peppers, pineapple, and then a bag of sweet and sour. I'm also going to make a stuffing mix, and instead of water I'm going to use a chicken broth, and then we'll have celery on top. I will also make peas in butter, and on top of this, besides putting these French fried onions, I have mushrooms. Now when I bring my mushrooms home in the package, I put them right away in a paper bag, and it makes them last. They last and they stay real good. So I'm going to get started with cooking the main meal. Now there's two ways to cook this. One is you put it in this casserole dish and you throw it in the microwave. Follow the instructions on the bag. I'll list the instructions over at the website, which is jamestdds.blogspot.com. And while I'm thinking of it, don't forget to click on the subscribe button and hit the bell, so as I make more videos, you'll get notified. Now, you can also fry it up in the brand new frying pan that we haven't used yet. I'm looking forward to using that. And you can also do a combination. You can throw it in the microwave and get it started, and then start your mushrooms in some butter, and then also olive oil, and then add a little bit of white wine at the end. This is going to be a really good meal. Start with putting your mix in the bowl. Then there's a pouch that comes with it with your mix. Use a good pair of scissors, cut that open, squirt that out. Now I'm going to throw this in the microwave to get it soft. So while that cooks in the microwave, I'm going to get some other things ready. So let's start out with our mushrooms. I have a pan and butter. I buy these half sticks of butter. I find they're easier to use, and it matches up on most recipes. Now I went ahead and I turned that up to high to get it hot, and then I'm going to turn it down to medium. I cook between medium and medium high, but generally on medium. Now one nice thing about these new pans, according to the instructions, is unlike typical pans, they don't get hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. They're supposed to maintain their heat and make your cooking better. So I'm looking forward to using these today. I'm going to make some stovetop stuffing. My recipe is a little bit different than what it says on the box. I use extra ingredients. It basically says to take your stovetop stuffing and 1.5 cups of water, boil, dump it in, cover it, you're done. What I like to do is I like to use chicken broth. I find that chicken broth is much better. So I need to fill up 1.5 cups of chicken broth. half a stick of butter. Put that on the burner and get it boiling. When it's ready, I'll dump in the stovetop stuffing, and then I'll sprinkle celery on top of it. I pull the center out of the celery, set that aside. You can use, if you want, for soups. I particularly don't. Cut off my ends. Then, so that celery is easier to, you want to cut right down the center of each one of these. Now you want to take your sticks and give them a quick rinse. If you do it like that, chances are you're not going to have any dirt in it, but just for the fun of it, you want to make sure. Then I'm cutting my whole bundle at one shot to the size that I want to put on top. Okay, there is your celery, all set, ready to go. Now, I have my burner on high. I'm waiting for the butter to melt and for it to start boiling. Now that my chicken broth and butter is boiling, I bring it out, put my mix in it. You have to take it off the burner at this point. Now I just stir it. I'm using a hard wire pasta ladle. This is pretty heavy, it's hard to move. Then all we have to do is put the lid on it and set it aside. The celery I'm going to save for later. I'm going to warm up some peas in butter. So I'm going to open the can. Drain it. I put the can in. Then I put in just a little bit of the salty water mix. Then I take a half of a stick of butter. Put that in there and put it on the burner. Here we go. I've brought the sweet and sour chicken out of the microwave where I've started it a little bit, sometimes called par cooking things. Going to give it a bit of a stir. Okay, we'll let that sit for a bit. Now, I have the butter that I melted, and I'm going to drop in my mushrooms. I would probably do about a handful for 2 people. There's going to be more, do more. Mushrooms are fairly strong tasting. We'll get them in here all swimming in the butter. And let those sit for a minute and warm up. The next thing I'm going to do with the mushrooms is I'm going to put in about a half a cup of chicken broth. Now I'm going to wait for that to kind of start to boil. The mushrooms are boiling, and I'm going to put in a little bit of white wine. That is about 1/8 of a cup. I'm also going to put in a quick turn of olive oil. Now it's starting to boil again. I'm going to go ahead and spoon in the mix. I need a few minutes covered, and then I'm going to check the chicken with a thermometer to make sure it's 165. I take a little piece out, and then I use my thermometer and I check it to make sure that it's at least 165. Good to go. The sweet and sour chicken is all set. Now I'm going to pull it off the burner and start to plate up. I have the peas. The stovetop stuffing gets served up. You have to fluff it up a little bit and then serve that up. with your peas. And some celery on top. Give that a little bit of a stir. Here we go. A meal fit for a king. That's our show for today. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button and click the bell so when we drop a new video, you'll get notified. Goodbye for now.